This is a video about what happens with families behind closed doors, where secrets are kept, lies are told, and no one is safe. I want you to feel like you're peering through a keyhole into a world that you should not be seeing. A world of deceit, of hidden things, and of danger. This is a story about a family, a seemingly ordinary family, but I'll give you a hint. Everything you see here is not what it appears to be. Nothing is real, nothing is safe, and no one is who they seem to be. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Some secrets are kept behind closed doors, but today they will be revealed. Subscribe now. Click the notification bell so you can be first to know when a new story drops if you dare. Felicia Studios.
Today we will meet the Sterlings. Eleanor Sterling. The Iron Matriarch, elegant and ruthless, the true architect of the family empire. Her age is ambiguous, but she exudes timeless power. Julian Sterling. Eleanor's charming but weak son. He enjoys the wealth but carries a heavy burden. Early 40s. Isabella Rossi. Julian's ambitious and beautiful wife. She has her own secrets and dreams of becoming the most powerful woman in Hollywood. Late 30s. Marcus Sterling. Julian's younger brother, the black sheep of the family. He is a journalist who exposes the dark sides of the elite and is always searching for the truth. Early 30s. And Sophia Sterling. Julian and Isabella's daughter, a young, innocent soul who is slowly beginning to discover the dark sides of her family. Early 20s. Welcome to the world of the Sterlings. A name synonymous with power, glamour, and a fortune that defies imagination. Tonight, they host their annual gala, a dazzling spectacle of wealth and influence. But behind the smiles and the champagne flutes lies a dark secret, a foundation of lies upon which their entire empire is built. In a lavish villa in the hills of Beverly Hills, overlooking the city. We are at the epicenter of the Sterling dynasty, a place of unprecedented luxury, but also of deep secrets. Eleanor Sterling, the matriarch, moves through the crowd like a queen. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, miss no detail. She built all of this, brick by brick, lie by lie. Her son, Julian, tries to win her approval, but his smile hides a deep fear. His wife, Isabella, radiates confidence, the perfect Hollywood wife, but her ambition is a fire that never dies. Far from the revelry, in the quiet library, Marcus Sterling searches for answers. He's the only one who questions the stories of the Sterling wealth's origin. An old newspaper clipping, a vague photograph, pieces of a puzzle he's been trying to solve for years. He knows something isn't right. Sophia, the young heiress, dances carefree in the ballroom. She grew up in this golden cage, oblivious to the shadows that surround her family. But tonight, she feels an unease, a tension that cuts through the air. A glance from her grandmother, a whisper between her parents, she's starting to notice. Later that evening, as the party winds down, Isabella overhears a conversation between Eleanor and Julian. Fragments of words. That business. The past. No one must ever know. Suspicion gnaws at her. What are they hiding? And more importantly, how can she use this to her advantage? Later that night, in their bedroom, Isabella confronts Julian. He's tense, evasive. The pressure of his mother's expectations and the weight of the secret weigh heavily on him. He tries to dismiss her, but Isabella is determined. She senses there's more than he's admitting. The next day Marcus delves deeper into his research. He finds an old lawsuit, an obscure reference to a bankruptcy years ago, just before the Sterlings made their unexplained rise. A name stands out. The fall of the Blackwood Group. Could this be the key? At the breakfast table, an icy silence hangs in the air. Eleanor dominates the room. Julian is pale. Isabella observes, her mind racing. Sophia feels the tension but doesn't understand its cause. Then, an unexpected remark from Eleanor, directed at Julian. Make sure the past stays buried, Julian. For good. Sophia, in her bedroom, disturbed by the atmosphere, decides to investigate. She remembers a hidden drawer in her father's old study, a place she was never allowed to go as a child. Curiosity wins over obedience. Sophia makes her way quietly to Julian's study, making sure no one notices her. She finds the drawer. Inside lies no money or jewelry, but a yellowed letter and a disturbing photograph. The letter is from her father, written to someone she doesn't know, expressing regret for what happened and the consequences they must bear. The photo shows a young Eleanor, Julian, and an unknown man, smiling near a large, old building that now looks deserted. The name on the building is faded, but Sophia can just make out the letters, Blackwood. Sophia's heart pounds. The innocent bubble she lived in shatters. What is the connection between her family and the Blackwood group? And what secret is so profound that it forms the foundation of the sterling fortune? The shadow of the past has awakened, and no one in the Sterling dynasty will be safe anymore. Sophia stared at the faded photograph and the chilling letter, her world spinning. The innocent girl who had danced just hours ago was gone, replaced by a young woman burdened with a terrible secret. She recognized the building in the photo, the old, abandoned Sterling Holdings building downtown, always a dark presence in the city skyline, now with the faint, Blackwood visible. Her father's plea in the letter echoed in her mind. I regret what happened. The consequences we must bear. A sudden knock on her door made her jump. Sophia, are you still awake? It was Isabella, her mother. Sophia quickly shoved the items under her pillow. Yes, Mom, just about to sleep, Sophia called out, trying to sound normal. Isabella entered, her eyes sweeping the room, sharp and perceptive. You seem preoccupied. Is everything all right? Sophia forced a smile. Just tired from the party. Isabella walked closer, her gaze lingering on Sophia's pillow. Well, get some rest. We have a busy day tomorrow. She paused at the door, her voice dropping. Some family matters need addressing. The next morning, the breakfast table was a battleground of unspoken tensions. Eleanor sat at the head, radiating an icy calm. Julian fidgeted, picking at his food. Isabella, ever watchful, sipped her coffee, her mind clearly elsewhere. Marcus, unusually quiet, seemed lost in his own thoughts. Sophia felt the weight of her discovery, every glance from her family now tinged with suspicion. Julian, Eleanor's voice cut through the silence, that deal with the new resort in Malibu. Has it been finalized? Julian looked up, startled. Yes, Mother. The papers were signed yesterday. Good, Eleanor said, a faint smile touching her lips. Our empire grows. Isabella interjected smoothly, speaking of growth, I was thinking of expanding the Sterling philanthropic initiatives. Perhaps a new foundation for arts education? Eleanor raised an eyebrow. Generous, Isabella. But perhaps we should focus on core business ventures first. Marcus finally spoke, his voice low. Or perhaps on the foundations of those core businesses. Eleanor's eyes narrowed. What do you mean by that, Marcus? Just wondering, Marcus said, meeting her gaze, how deeply rooted our foundations truly are. Some old roots can be quite rotten. A tense silence fell. Julian visibly paled. Sophia watched, a cold dread coiling in her stomach. This was more than just family drama, it was a carefully constructed facade. Later that day, Isabella cornered Julian in his private study. She was no longer subtle. What is the Blackwood business, Julian? She demanded, her voice a fierce whisper. I overheard Eleanor, and you look like you've seen a ghost. Julian's face crumpled. Isabella, please, it's nothing, just old family history. Old history doesn't make Eleanor look like she's about to bury a body, and it doesn't make you tremble like a leaf, Isabella shot back. Tell me, it concerns my future and Sophia's. Julian ran a hand through his hair, agitated. It's how we got everything. The initial fortune. It wasn't clean. Eleanor, she orchestrated something. A hostile takeover that wasn't just hostile. The Blackwood Group. Their patents, their assets, they vanished overnight. Their CEO, he disappeared. Isabella's eyes widened. Disappeared? You mean, he was murdered? Julian flinched. I don't know the details. Mother handled everything. I was young, foolish, just doing what she told me. But he vanished. And then suddenly, the sterling fortune exploded. My God, Isabella breathed, a mixture of shock and calculating gleam in her eyes. So, our luxury, our entire life, it's built on a crime. Meanwhile, Sophia, driven by an insatiable need for answers, sought out Marcus. She found him in the dimly lit library, surrounded by research papers. Uncle Marcus, she began, her voice trembling slightly, I need to ask you something. About the family. Marcus looked up, surprised but intrigued. What about them, Sophia? Sophia pulled out the crumpled photograph and the letter from her pocket. Do you know anything about the Blackwood Group? Or what happened all those years ago? My father, this letter, and this building. Marcus's eyes widened as he took the items. His gaze sharpened, recognizing the pieces of the puzzle he'd been chasing. Sophia, where did you get these? From Dad's old study, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. He keeps a secret drawer. Marcus studied the photo, then read the letter, his jaw tightening. This confirms it. I've been investigating the disappearance of Charles Blackwood, the CEO of Blackwood Group, for years. They were on the verge of a major breakthrough in renewable energy before their sudden collapse. The Sterlings swooped in, took everything. So, my grandmother, my father, they did something terrible? Sophia's voice cracked. It looks like they orchestrated his disappearance and seized his company, framing it as a legitimate acquisition, Marcus said grimly. That's how they bought this empire, Sophia. With blood money. As Marcus and Sophia pieced together the shocking truth, Isabella was formulating her own plan. She had the confession she needed from Julian. Now, the question was how to leverage this information. Power was within her grasp. In her opulent bedroom, Isabella made a call. I have information. Very sensitive information about the Sterling family. Information that could bring down their entire empire. On the other end, a deep, unknown voice responded, and what do you want in return, Mrs. Sterling? Isabella's lips curved into a dangerous smile. Everything. The Sterling dynasty, once believed to be invincible, now stood on the precipice of ruin. The secrets of the past were no longer buried. Sophia, shattered by the truth, faced an impossible choice: protect her family or expose the darkness. Marcus was closer than ever to revealing the full extent of their crimes. And Isabella, fueled by ambition, was ready to play her most dangerous game yet. The shadow of the Sterling dynasty had fully emerged, threatening to consume them all.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out of any of Felicia Studios' videos. It really means a lot and helps me make better videos for you guys. Share your own stories and theories in the comments below. Don't gatekeep. Share it with fellow enthusiasts who love these kind of stories. I think they'll enjoy it too. This has been Felicia Studios, coming with a new captivating story soon.